Okay. Give me a T. Give me an I. Give me a T. Give me an H. Give me an E. What do you got? What? What? Good. That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay. Now, I'm not a minister. I'm not even a licensed Unity teacher. I'm just a regular old member of Unity. And for that matter, I haven't even been in Unity for that long. But I was asked to speak today because several years ago, as a new member of Unity, I was struggling with the concept of tithing, which possibly many of you are too. And as a result of that struggle, I ended up writing a pamphlet, Is Tithing for Me? And I've been going all over the country speaking about tithing and delivering the pamphlet. And as Reverend Billy said, your church and its prosperity consciousness has a free one for each of you at the door as you leave. And so I'm here today to talk to you about my personal journey around tithing, my doubts, my suspicions, my cynicism, and the answers and understanding that I came to for myself. And if in some way hearing about my journey helps you to answer some of your own questions about whether tithing is for you, then I've done my job. So as my partner, Reverend Sean Moninger, likes to say, put on your hard hats, we're going in. Now, we've all been told probably in every church we've ever attended that tithing is important and tithing is spiritual, and we're told about oneness and the universe and how good it is for the world and how it keeps the flow moving. But the first question in my mind, as I started exploring this issue, which perhaps is in your mind, is, what's in it for me? What can I get out of tithing? Where is my stuff? I want stuff, and I don't just mean peace and harmony and love and spiritual things. Of course they're extremely important, and of course they clearly stand at the center of our ability to live full and happy lives, but I want the stuff that I want. I want money and security and great relationships and health and healing. I want stuff. Don't you? Thought so. So if we're tithing to the church, giving 10% of all the money that comes into us week after week, year after year, the question we want to ask, and the question I'm going to address today, is how does the church help us get the stuff that we really want? And like it or not, as I explored this question, a big part of the answer was that controversial, sometimes irritating, sometimes frightening little word. Good, thank you. There was one church where they couldn't figure out what the word was. It was that. I think the first time I heard about tithing was from my friends who were Catholic. Tithing was something you had to do, were forced, coerced, guilted into giving money to the church, ostensibly so you wouldn't go to hell. But everybody really knew that the reason was so the church could get rich. Have you ever been to the Vatican? It's very wealthy. And the church was this boring thing you had to go to, ostensibly so you wouldn't go to hell. Actually, this isn't in my speech. When I was 15, my best friend was Catholic, and she had holy water by her bed, and she splashed me with it, and she said, I baptize you in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. You're Catholic, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I was like, I'm Jewish. I don't want to be Catholic. She said, sorry, you're Catholic. So being raised Jewish, that seemed crazy to me. But I have to say that the temple had its own ways of extracting money from people in the name of saving them. On the high holidays of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, it is said that God opens the book of life and reviews your life from the past year and writes in the book of life what's going to happen to you for the next year. And Yom Kippur is the last day, which is called the Day of Atonement, which in my raising did not mean at one mint. It meant this was your last chance to plead with God that he wouldn't write something bad, because once he closed the book, that was it. So you'd go to the temple and you'd beat your breast and go, please, please, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it, give me a good year. So you would think it would be very important to be in temple on those days. Those were the days when they charged hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a ticket, and you couldn't get into temple without a ticket. So you had to be there. Seemed like a ripoff to me. So when I came to Unity in 2002, I was naturally suspicious of the whole idea of tithing, because I thought of the church as them, and they were trying to get my money for themselves, and I was going to give them as little as I could get away with because I needed it for myself. And when I came to the Unity for the first time, it was to perform one of my songs. But I came back because the message was so open and comforting and made so much sense to a pragmatist such as myself. And then, just when I was relaxing, I heard that word. Yeah, you're awake. But I was getting something out of Unity. For the first time, I felt like it was my church, as opposed to something that was outside of myself. So I decided I would investigate tithing to see for myself what it was all about. The first thing I did was sign up for a 4T class, and you're about to have a 4T class here, so you know what it is. The class was described to me as a 12-step recovery program from addiction to lack and negative thinking. So it could be said that if AA is a 12-step program for stopping drinking, then 4Ts is a 12-step program for stopping lacking. The tool that was used for this recovery was tithing. For the 12 weeks of the course, everyone agreed to tithe 10% of their total income to the church to see what effect that would have on their lives. The wonderful thing about it was the course came with insurance, with a guarantee that if you attended all the sessions and tithed completely and were dissatisfied with the results, you could get all your money back. So there was ostensibly no risk, or at least no financial risk. So I went to the 4Ts, and the first week I made $660. And I very reluctantly wrote a check for $66, threw it away. I could have had dinner with that money. I could have almost gone to the theater with that money. $66, I just had to write a check. It was so annoying. Second week, I made $31,580. Oh my God, I had to write a check for $3,100. I could have paid the mortgage with that. Third week, $28,000. You have to understand, I wasn't making money like this as usual, but suddenly royalties from a film I'd done 2 years ago came in, or jobs came in, stuff like that. The fourth week, the same thing. I'm making all this money. The 10th week, as I'm writing another enormous check, I said, this is infuriating. Just when I take this course, all of a sudden, I'm having to pay. Oh. So I thought, maybe, just maybe, tithing had something to do with it. But I'm aware that everyone in the class did not experience that. It was not the same, and that some people tithe and nothing seems to happen. But for me, it was an actual experience where I had tried tithing and something had happened. But that was not enough for me. Not being someone who's into magical thinking or wishing and hoping or doing what the minister says. I mean, I live with a minister, so I have to do what he says, but that's a different thing. Anyway, I wanted to get to the bottom of how and why tithing worked. So I took a good long look at tithing, especially at how it was being presented to me in church, to see if I could find some answers. Now, in the typical blessing of the tithe, which I understand is based in unity principle, we're told that our tithes are coming into this church and going out into the universe and coming back to us multiplied in some mysterious way, which is never really explained. And when I first heard that, I said to myself, I don't get it. How does that happen? Why does it happen? Is there some guarantee that it will happen? All I see is that I'm giving money away and it's going out into the universe. The universe. My money is going into outer space. A lot of good that does me, sending money into outer space, and hoping that in some way outer space decides to give it back to me. Frankly, I don't care about outer space. I don't care about the universe. I'm not doing this to be philanthropic. I'm doing this to get stuff, so when I tithe, I want to know that I'm getting stuff for me. So the question is, what is the source of stuff? Where does stuff come from? What can I give to that will automatically and immediately give me something back that will cause me to have stuff? Period. Forget about abundance is really in your heart and is not money. And there are many ways to see abundance of which you may not be aware. Of course, that's all true and important, but I want stuff. I want the stuff that I want. So again, I ask the question, what is the source of stuff? Some might say it's money. If you have money, you can have stuff. Money buys stuff, right? So what causes money to come to us? A job, Some might say that the source of our stuff is a job. But what is the source of that job? Why did I get that job and someone else didn't get that job? Why am I able to do that job? Why am I able to keep that job? Why do I get paid so much or so little? So maybe the source of a job is education, or luck, or hard work, or talents given to us at birth, or talents we've developed during our lives. But what is it that makes one person able to use their talents and another not? What is it that makes one person go for an education or not? What is it that makes one person able to move toward, fight for, work on, receive, and manifest whatever it takes to see the realization of their dreams in the physical world, while another one doesn't seem to be able to? I think if you follow this train to its logical conclusion, you'll see that what underlies all of this is thought. One must have the thought, the idea that something exists in the universe and that it's something they can have or attain in order to even begin to have it manifest. You have to have the thought that there is such a thing as an education before you can even begin to get one. Not only that, even more important, you have to have the thought that it is possible for you to get that education, for you to afford it, for you to do the work, for you to succeed. You have to have the thought it's possible to have the relationship you desire in order to even ask someone out or go and meet someone or allow someone to pursue you or come into your life. Without the thought that this exists and is possible, it could not appear. In fact, you wouldn't see it if it did appear.